Yo yo yo! Today I'm going to be making a video about my metal frag shop. It's completely sealed off, so it makes it harder to raid. It sells metal frags for metal ore at a rate of 1-to-1, so it doesn't make any profit. And the purpose of the shop is to help you and other players smelt metal frags for free. It does this by selling metal frags for metal ore and then putting the metal ore into the electric furnaces and putting the metal frags from the electric furnaces back into the shop to resell again. The TC is also full sealed, so we've got TC behind a wall there, so even if they raid into the shop, they can't grief it, which means you can rebuild it if you want. If someone destroys the wind turbine, you can reconnect it using the industrial light. However, I've only ever had to do that once, so people don't normally grief it. There's also one trick. If you look directly up and F1 kill, then you can loot yourself through the wall. So that is a way to transfer something in if you forgot to put something in. Onto the outside of the base. These blue flashlights here are super good for, stopping people placing twig, which will then block the drones. If you've built close to outposts, you won't need these because outposts will block the twig for you. A couple things to keep in mind when placing this base is you don't want to have it too close. You want to make sure you can place the vending machine, because if you're too close to the safe zone, you might be able to place the wall, but you won't be able to place the vending machine. Also, if the wind turbine is too close to mountains or power poles, you cannot place it. Alright, so this is a website that I like to use that is super useful and be able to remember all the components you need to craft. So see on the right here, we've got the craft cost. So what I'll do in the wipe, I'll go into my base, I'll go get all those resources, and then I'll go down the list and craft everything I need. I'll post a link for this in the description, so if any of you guys want to use it, you can use it as well. The reason that I have 10 for 10 and not, for example, 1 for 1 is when you spam any numbers on the keyboard, it will always max out at the 9k. Now I'd like to go on to how I build it in a normal wipe. So first of all, you're going to place the foundation. So I normally go right up against the outpost and then pull back a little bit so there's room for the vending machine. I'll make sure I can place all the foundations. Then I'll check for the vending machine, make sure that fits in, so that fits in all good. Next step would be to place the TC down, so I'll put the TC down, block it up, then I'll fill it up. Also, you want to remember not to put any wood in there, because if someone builds a twig on it, that's going to increase the upkeep, which will then mean your base will decay faster, so you don't want to be leaving any wood in there. Once the TC is stacked for the whole wipe, we can seal it off. Alright, now that we've done that, we can finish upgrading the honeycomb. When building it, I like to have a wood extension out the side to give me more space. I also put sheet metal doors on because wooden doors are weaker than wooden walls, so it's still worth having a sheet door. Now that the base is finished, I'll start crafting everything I need for the electrics using the website that I showed earlier. Alright, after I've got everything crafted, I normally go over with just the wind turbine, the ladder, the branches, and the conveyors. So I'll normally place a ladder up here so I can put the wind turbine down. Then I'll put all my branches on the side of the door that is closest to the extension. And then you can just connect them all up. And then set them all to 3. After that, I'll put the 2 conveyors up the top. And then go into the pass-through. After those are all placed, I'll come over with the rest of the loot, because everything else that we do now is just done inside, so it's a bit more safe. So I'll place this. Then I'll start placing the furnaces. So these first 2 furnaces, these are the most important to get right. You want to place these as far back as you can, because else it can be a jam to get around. Then we use these two boxes to help us place the top layer. One thing I do sometimes accidentally do is you can clip it against the end of the shelf. You want to make sure it's against the back wall. To check that they're all on, you can crouch jump. Alright, now that we've got all the electric furnaces connected, we can move the door and place the vending machine. Then we can place the battery at the back. Make sure the battery is right back against the wall. And then we can place our last storage adapter and connect it up. We can set this one to middle ore, put that for 10, apply, and then we can put our sleeping bag down. For the sleeping bag, you're going to want to have to jump around because there's not much space, but if you jump around and spam click, it'll eventually get it. Make sure you can place the wall. Yep, so we can place the wall, so that's good. I normally like to name the bag metal frags or something so that you don't accidentally delete the bag. So as you can see, it's quite jammed through here, so you want to make sure you get the placements of these ones right. Alright, so we've got the metal ore. I normally bring with me 200 metal to upgrade the wall and some wood to place the twig. So I'll put the metal ore in. I like to name the shop Tyrant's Metal Frags, W/D, walk/run. And if I have two of them, I'll write one for one of them and then two for the other one. I also change the amount of metal frags I put in. I put 9.5. That just makes it a little bit easier to visually distinguish them quickly. Now we can set the sell order. We'll set 10 metal frags for 10 metal ore. Okay, now that everything's finished, we can put the power out from the battery into the power in of the branch, and then we can power in the battery to the wind turbine. I normally like to power it from the wind turbine and line it up so that the wire is not visible. That's one of the most important steps to remember, to plug the wind turbine into the battery, else you'll have to use the industrial light to convey power through the wall. Alright, so now we can turn these on, get everything cooking. As you'll see, it will start pulling some of this out and put in just the maximum of 10. Alright, so now we can seal this off. Alright, so now we've just got this little extension. This should decay in a few hours, but I normally sword or machete it out, and that's the shop done. Thank you for watching the tutorial. I'll be doing one for my automated low grade raise and my automated meat crafter. On the rare case that your wind turbine does get destroyed, I'd like to show you how you can reconnect the power. You want to have your industrial lights power in facing the vending machine. So see, it's not facing outside here, so we need to rotate it 180 degrees so the power in is facing the outside of the base. So you want to clip it through until it's switching between the wall and the roof. I normally aim for somewhere above the vending machine. Once it's about there, you can change your input sensitivity to 0.01 so you can get more fine movement. You want to keep moving it slightly left until you can place it. If you've done it right, you should be able to see the square and just be able to connect it directly, but sometimes if it's not perfect, you might see it where it will look like this, where you look at it and it won't show up, but if you look away, you'll be able to see the square. So how to connect it like this is if you just spam click and look up, then you should be able to get it. Then we can connect the wind turbine and we can connect the lights to the power in of the battery. And so that's how you reconnect the power if the wind turbine happens to get destroyed.